By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to say to a narcissist and how to say it in order to shut them down permanently. Let's get started. Hey friends, Tammy M. Joyce here, empowerment life coach, creator of the Freedom Class and the Ascension Class. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Please take a second to say hello and introduce yourself in the comments section below. And if you're back, thanks for showing up and for tuning in. Either way, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos throughout the week. So let's talk about what to say to a narcissist to shut them down and shut them down permanently. Now remember, when you're dealing with a narcissist, you're actually dealing with an entitled, childish ingrate who lacks boundaries and has very little, if any, empathy and conscience. In addition, you're dealing with a master manipulator, someone who is willing to go to any lengths that you and I cannot even fathom just to get their way, just to win the right fight, just to look like the good guy or good girl, just to look like either the hero or the victim. They'll go to any lengths. So you want to be sure to choose your battles wisely. And I'm going to be dirt honest with you. More often than not, it's going to be in your best interest to simply back away quietly, no sudden movements, stay under the radar. And once you get away, stay away for good. Truly, that's always going to be your best bet with these creatures. But if for whatever reason that's not an option for you, or for whatever reason you are not quite ready, willing, or able to do that, then here's what you want to know. When it comes to shutting a narcissist down permanently, the first thing you want to do is leave all emotion out of it. Do not, under any circumstances, react to their provocations. You want to deal with them like it's a business transaction, no matter who they are. There is no room, zero, nada, for emotion if your goal is to actually shut them down permanently. You want to stay calm, cool, and collected, no matter what it takes. Make a conscious effort to focus on your breath, stay in your body, and remain completely non-reactive. In other words, underreact to the best of your ability. No matter how much of a performance you have to muster, you can do this. You can actually overreact or vent or freak out or, whatever it is you need to do to express your anger, hurt, and frustration later on when you're by yourself or with a trusted friend or confidant or any safe person in your support system. Again, if you want to successfully shut this creature down, whatever you do, you're gonna have to find a way to remain cold, detached, and unfeeling, just like they are. Next, think counterintuitive. Forget reasoning with this person, being heard, or getting your needs met. It's not going to happen. You're not dealing with a reasonable, rational adult here. Rather, you're dealing with a wounded, entitled, childish ingrate. You're dealing with someone who, like I said, is willing to go to any lengths to hurt you, to provoke you, to win the right fight, to get their way, to manipulate you, to manipulate the perceptions of others, and to manipulate outcomes. And if they're resentful and motivated enough, they're also going to be willing to go to any lengths to seek revenge on you, whatever it takes. And that's probably the last thing that you need. The truth is, because they lack a fundamental moral compass or conscience, they will go to lengths that you or I cannot even fathom or imagine. They don't have the same emotional response to their shocking attitudes and behavior, which is why they are often so shocking to us, right? They do and say things They contrive situations and circumstances. They manipulate and play games, leaving great big, huge chunks of the truth out of the equation. They do all sorts of insane things that you and I couldn't even conceive of, right? So the point being, forget showing up with your big heart and all that love that you carry and all that empathy that you carry. Or forget trying to become a better communicator, more understanding, more patient, more tolerant, and long suffering. If only I could twist myself into a pretzel enough, maybe I could make this work. Forget all of that. Forget showing up with what you would normally show up with in the discussion with a reasonably sane and healthy adult. Forget bringing that to the table of a destructive narcissist. You're not dealing with a reasonably sane and adult and rational adult here, right? So everything that you would normally bring to the table of that conversation with a relatively reasonable, sane, rational, healthy human being isn't actually going to work with this person. So forget all of that. What you want to do is the exact opposite instead. That's what I mean by counterintuitive. Now, to shut them down, here's what you want to do. With as much detached, flatline ambivalence as you can possibly muster, use words and super short, succinct, clear, simple statements like no, or no thank you, or sorry, I'm not available, or so sorry, I can't do that, or I'm not interested, thank you. The point being, no is a full sentence. And it might take a little practice. You might want to practice in the mirror beforehand, but if you can practice delivering the information with zero emotion attached to it, no high voltage energetic intensity coming with it, right? Super ambivalent, super detached, super flatline, super clear, super succinct, followed by silence. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable silence. So, for example, no, and breathe. Let the uncomfortable silence be what it will be. Let the word or the super short, succinct, clear, simple statement land, and let the silence be what it is. Your job is to breathe, stay in your body, hold on to yourself. You're simply delivering information. Remember, this is a business transaction, right? You're approaching it with that mindset. No emotion. You can also say things like, I understand, or I see, or I hear you, or I'll let you know. I'll get back to you. Let me see. Let me think about it. Again, short, succinct, super clear, followed by silence. Silence is so powerful. Once we get past the discomfort of the silence, silence is by far more powerful than anything we can even say, believe it or not, right? So be sure to use it, especially when dealing with someone who lands on the spectrum of destructive narcissism and we're looking to communicate as clearly as possible. You've got zero power or influence over me here, buddy, right? Like, you're wasting your time. This is not a yummy target. This is not going to go well for you. Not giving my power away today, right? When that is the message that we want to send to an individual who thinks it's a good idea or it might be a good idea to target us, silence is going to make them far more uncomfortable than you can even imagine. In addition, and where appropriate, this isn't always going to be appropriate or work for you, but where appropriate, you can say something like, cool, or okay, or I'm okay with that, or that's fine with me, or one of my personal favorites, I don't care. And silence, not another word. Let it land. If you're feeling brave, you can also say something like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And silence. Watch the narcissists become completely unraveled when they realize they are fully, entirely powerless over you. This is how we shut down a narcissist permanently. You start communicating like this, carrying that detached, flatline, couldn't give a flying bleep kind of energy, and communicating in this fashion, letting the silence be what it is, pretty soon they have to go find someone else to play with. And you're left alone in peace to get on with your happy, healthy, productive life, to start moving in the direction of a much better life without all the nonsense that they bring to the table, right? Another option will be, of course, to go for good old-fashioned silence right out of the gate, right from the get-go. And I don't mean in a passive-aggressive way like a covert narcissist would. That's not what I mean. I mean in a way, and this is all about the energy that you carry, by the way, but in a way that says, I am boundaried. I am not easy prey. I'm not a good target. In a way that communicates you're bulletproof, unshakable, like gray rock. And if you'd like to learn more about how to use the gray rock method with a destructive narcissist, you can check out this video here. But gray rock, uninteresting, fully uninteresting, fully uninterested, and fully unaffected and unfazed. What you're shooting for here is to diffuse what would otherwise be a high voltage, intense conversation or situation, right? So that's the goal. You want to keep that in mind, right? You're not looking to antagonize and provoke and make things worse. You're looking to turn the volume down on all the crazy and the insanity to the best of your ability, right? Like you can't be responsible for how they show up, how they react, how they behave, but just know that that is your goal. You're looking to diffuse the situation, not make it worse. And with that said, in so much as you're able, you're going to want to avoid inflicting narcissistic injury and thus inciting narcissistic rage, right? Like that's never going to work out well for you. So in so much as you're able now, we can't always, sometimes all we have to do is walk into the room and we inflict narcissistic injury without even opening our mouths, right? So like we don't always have control over that, but in so much that you do have control, right? Like if you can avoid trying to have the last word or get that dig in, right? Or win the right fight, right? Like, you know, bringing your ego to the table yourself. If you can avoid doing that, and if you have the opportunity to avoid inflicting unnecessary narcissistic injury, you definitely want to do that. Remember, they're looking to trigger an emotional reaction from you, right? So be prepared to say things like, fine, you're entitled to think that. You're entitled to see it that way. You're entitled to feel that way. When you do that, when you don't engage and get sucked into the toxic vortex, they're literally starved for their hit of narcissistic supply. And it doesn't take very long before they realize you're not a good source of narcissistic supply. So, in so much as you are able, like I said, detached, right? Like hang back, don't get sucked in, hold on to yourself. And keep it in the I language if you have to communicate with these people, either the I language or the we language. It's so easy when we're engaged in, the frustrating, nonsensical, mind-bending, crazy-making conversations with these folks to go into you, right? Like they really inspire that in us, right? But that's not helpful, and it's certainly not going to help you shut them down permanently. If you're coming at them with you, no matter how right you may be, they're going to feel attacked and backed into a corner. Everything will escalate, and all of this will be much harder to do. So speak in the I language, or if you must, the we language. Keep it there and learn to manage your own energy field. Learn to manage what's going on with you. Don't be sarcastic. Stay calm and strong, grounded and clear, holding on to you, refusing to give your power away. And with that, I'm going to call it a wrap. My friends, I hope you got some value out of this today. If you liked what you heard, remember to give me a like, drop a comment, and let me know what your biggest takeaway was. And of course, share it with your friends if you think it would be helpful. Once again, if you're new to my channel, great big huge welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos throughout the week. And if you'd like to learn more about the possibility of working with me in one of my coaching programs, be sure to check out the links in the description below for all the details. And as always, I will leave you with this. Know your value. Know your value and unlock your freedom. See you in the next video. Much love. Bye for now.